as you can see around me, there is so much to do here. And I don't know about you, but I do not want to go in there and find out for myself. It was still really cool to see. You know, it's not every day that you get to see candy fall from the sky. And if you come out here today, you might just see one of the butterflies fluttering around. Some information hackers may have gotten a hold of includes addresses, phone numbers, and social security numbers. They were getting their morning started here at their apartment when they had a perfect yet alarming view of the unexpected. Many are still dealing with the devastation that was last month's snowstorm. Tonight he shares with us his story celebrating another year as a dad. And as you can see over here, there's just roof. Now I'm going to step aside so you can see some of the damage here. Community here says they are mourning this loss very deeply. Even behind me, you can see the crosses that loved ones have left for them. It's been 48 hours since Wilson's disappearance, and her family is more worried than ever. I would call Ghostbusters, but they were already here last night. Live in Tyler, Lauren Margolis, KTK News. A popular item among women is a noisemaker. This right here looks like a normal flashlight keychain, but when you pull this string, it lets out a loud sound, drawing attention to yourself and potentially scaring off an attacker. But knowing what to do next is what really makes a difference. The reason they chose soccer as their fundraising event is because it's Fabian's favorite sport. But one thing he never forgot was walking across a stage like this one to receive his high school diploma. And no farm would be complete without animals. They're scattered all throughout Animal Town here. Valentin's road to recovery continues in here. This is one of the many cool things to see at the museum. It's a C-47 paratrooper plane from World War II. Making a hand-hammered piece like this can take up to 16 hours. One thing show dogs learn how to do is stack, which is where their front paws are facing the judges so they can better look at their outline. This may look like a regular bottle of soda, but it's not. This green-colored liquid is what neighbors are suspecting could be blue-green algae. Without parental controls, there's a world of possibilities on these little devices. When your kids are texting away, you may not know who is on the other end. This is Carly Ray, a typical 10-year-old girl who loves swimming, riding her bike, and having fun. But she's living with a life-threatening condition.
She had headaches and vomiting every day for about 4 years, and finally they did an MRI.
Doctors diagnosed her with Chiari malformation, a rare genetic condition that causes her brain to grow down into her spine. Next month, Carly will undergo surgery for it. The procedure includes removing part of her skull, giving her brain room to grow normally. This is the second attempt after the first one failed.
Her skull grew back 100%, which is extremely rare. Like, in the 30 years that the doctor had performed the surgery, he had not had a patient that it had grown back until her.
The surgery left her with this scar, or as Carly calls it, her zipper.
It hurt very little. I could not look up or like in a way. I can only look down. And it took like 2 months to heal.
Now, with the help of her Lake Merval neighbors, Carly is raising money, hoping to make a difference for others living with her condition.
I want to donate it to Texas Children's to maybe find a cure for Chiari and to help other children.
Strangers and friends doing everything they can to help the girl that lights up their life.
Everybody just loves her, and she just goes up to them. She sees them pulling up, and she runs out there and greets them.
The community at Lake Merval feels more like family than neighbors to Carly, like who she calls Grumpy Old Man, one of her neighbors here that she refers to as one of her best friends.
I got to get back to mowing.
Goodbye.
Bye, baby girl.
Bye, Cookie Man.
Carly has a huge support system, keeping her strong and smiling. How many friends do you have here on the lake?
I have a lot.
Too many to count. Because Carly's fight is their fight too.
I just wanted to hug them and say, "Why? You're somebody's child. Why are you doing this?"
Michelle Baker always likes to see the good in people, something slightly harder to do after her life flashed before her eyes back in March.
They just drove off in my car, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I wasn't thinking. I was scared.
A family trip to Houston nearly turned deadly. Baker was there for a livestock show. After a long night of waiting to have their pig weighed, they decided to head to the hotel and unload their car. They were staying at a Holiday Inn near NRG Stadium.
My older daughter stayed at the hotel and went to bed. So I took my husband and my youngest daughter back over to the NRG Stadium and I let them out. It maybe took me 10 minutes to get back to the hotel, and I even pulled into the same parking spot that I left out of.
At this point, it was 2 a.m. and Baker was alone in the parking lot. That's when she turned around and the unexpected happened. Baker was carjacked at gunpoint.
I got out of my car and hit the lock button, and when I turned around, I had two black males, one with the gun to my face and another with the gun to my side, and they said, "Give me your effing keys."
One of the men pushed her up against the car next to hers. Baker fell, and that's when they grabbed her car keys, hanging on her wrist on a keychain similar to this one.
The one with the gun to my head, he stood there for a little bit and just held the gun to my head. And the one with the gun to the side, he hopped in the back seat of my car and said, "Let's just go. Let's just go, bro, now." So he grabbed my keys and he got in my car and they took off.
A few days later, police found Baker's car.
Some passerbys had seen it burning and it was still smoldering, and she said that the only way they knew it was my car was because there was a VIN number on the motor.
Now, 2 months after that shocking moment, Baker is still healing.
I have acute PTSD, but the more I talk about it, I feel better.
For the first time in her life, she sees a therapist.
I really do believe in therapy, that it works. Like, I really think sometimes in your life things just come up where you have to have somebody like that to talk to.
The biggest lesson Baker says she learned is to always pay attention to your surroundings.
If I am in the car by myself, I lock my doors. If I'm getting gas, I lock my doors. You know, I'm doing way better about that. Because used to, if I was getting gas, I'd have that door open, pumping gas, purse all in the seat, you know, but not anymore.
Baker wants everyone to know that something like this can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime.
I never thought that this would happen to me, and it did, and I'm very lucky, because next time I might not be so lucky.
But despite everything, Baker says she still believes there is good in the world.
At that moment when the one that had it to my head just stood there, it's almost like he was thinking about it, but the one that was getting in the back, maybe he's the one that was like, "Go." Maybe he's saved. See, I'm still trying to find the good,
And while still finding the good in life, Baker says she will be aware of the bad, hoping others can learn from her story by being more mindful of their environment and confident but cautious. Lauren Margolis, KTK News.